Hello and good afternoon. This is a very quick update on where I am with my 2mm experiment. What you're looking at here is the kind of the start, the embryo of a small 2mm layout I'm looking to build to showcase my stock, to provide someone to take photographs and run as a test track, and essentially just to get something started. So if I zoom out a little, you'll be able to see it's quite a simple plan. Comes in from the fiddle yard. There's two turnouts, and then there's a crossover over here, and that's it. This will be a good shed off to one side and a cattle dock, and that's the station with a short platform behind. In my original plan, this was going to run off scene with a level crossing there. That's actually not going to happen. I'm going to do it on this side. So this will be truncated here-ish, and there will be a road that kind of comes around. Taking inspiration from the Colne Valley Light Railway, so the building sizes are all based around Ufcoln, which is a town on that railway. Really small, built as a light railway and absorbed by the GWR. And the terminus of that light railway is called Hemyock, and it's quite a familiar sight to many modelers who are looking at light railways. But one of the signature things it has is a line that goes off past the station into a dairy. And so this section here will be the place where wagons are left for the dairy. Even in real life, they never shunted the wagons over the road. They would shunt them up to the road, and then at some point they would manually wheel those wagons in. So that's my excuse for having a lot more freight than would necessarily be justified. I don't know if it will be a dairy, but that's what I'm going to go with. Yeah, and over here you can see I've cut this section away because there's going to be a riverbank here. The light railway, the Colne Valley Light Railway, followed the Colne River, and so I'm taking inspiration from the Tyne River, which was in slightly further north. So this will be the River Tyne will be going across here. But yeah, I'm really pleased, really pleased. And what you can see here is all of the meaningful stock that I've got for the layout. So everything you see here is kit built, other than a couple of wagons. So this wagon here, if I tilt it in front of the light, this is a Pico wagon that I've weathered. And I'm quite pleased with it. It's come out a little dark, which I'm not so happy with. Because I'm aware with when you're looking at N scale, things really stand out if they're very dark. Because when things are further away from you in real life, they get paler, and N scale in general just implies more distance. So things really should be lighter. But I think if I have enough, there's space for a lighting gantry on this baseboard. I think if I have enough LED lights to really make sure that it's brightly lit, I think it'll be okay. These are some 10-ton vans that I built, these Southern Railway ones, which I'm really pleased with. They've got some very intricate underframe details you can see there, and like this is my finger. I'm very surprised at my ability to manage that, but very pleased. Yeah, and so this is, so far, the only 2mm fine scale rolling stock I have is this diesel, which is wildly inappropriate for this setting. So I have a chassis for this Ginty that I'm looking to try and build. So effectively I lift off the plastic, I have a new chassis that the plastic goes on top of, and I have a Ginty essentially. But what I found actually is there's many locomotives that share the same wheelbase as this Ginty. So I can use a 3D printer, for example, to print a new body that's not a Ginty necessarily. And that's my current plan. I don't know how that's going to pan out, but those are my thoughts. Yeah, so that's what we got. This itself, if I just stand up and move back, this is a Tim Horn baseboard, and I am so pleased with it. I spoke to Tim and asked him to introduce this divider section because the original only has one area, and I wanted it to be fully self-contained. This is only meant to be a tiny layout after all. So this will be my fiddle yard. So in here I'll have a separate set of lights, and it will be darker, I guess, and paint it, a mid-brown or a grey or something. And I'll be able to play with the stock, take it off and re-rail it and so on over here. And then this will be the main scenic section of the layout. But it comes, it's laser cut very accurately. It's positively aligns perfectly. I'm just so chuffed with it. And Tim's a great guy to deal with. I've got more sections of it down here, so you can see there's this double square over here. This double square is for this section here, and then the other one is for there. And the cutout of this section was really a part of a question around how I was going to deal with the points. I've actually, the point work in 2mm fine scale is all handmade, obviously, so you can't buy it off the rails. But actually, I decided I wanted to try my hand at doing a crossover, so I built this. I built this plan in order to build this crossover. And this works, which I'm very chuffed about, and so I decided, well, I've got to build this now, I guess. So I then built this. So this is already done, and I have loads of flex. This is all the rail, and it slots into flex track bases that will fund the rest of it. So that's already all done. But if I zoom in on here, if it will focus properly, that is an easy track tie bar. And it requires a latching of the blade, so the blade will move, and it has to be held there. And there's a number of ways you can do this manually. One of the vaunted methods is to use a slide switch that moves, that clicks back and forth, and you drill a wire through it, and the wire has a little L shape at the bottom, and that's what clicks the point back and forth. But a good friend of mine who's much more experienced with this said that it's really not as simple as that, and there's a lot more to it. And I realised that I just don't want to. There's already enough going on with 2mm fine scale that I am not struggling with, but there is a challenge, and I don't need this to be another challenge. So I just bought some point motors. So I'll hopefully receive those as a delivery soon. And I think that's about it. Yeah, so that's where I'm at now. My next, not necessarily my next challenge, but my next thing really is to get this point work onto this baseboard in one piece, and then to start running trains, hopefully. So until next time.